So yeah, I'm Mr. Reed. I'm a spoken word artist. I just release a lot of material online because I enjoy it really. That's how it kind of started off. And yeah, got a bit of a response. But apart from that, I'm an actor. I'm just a creative. I do a lot of creative things. I'm an actor, spoken word artist. And yeah, I'm just trying to light none up. Mainly I'm trying to help the youths, but I'm trying to help everyone really, to be honest.
Okay. What inspires you? Like, some of you've got such a wide variety of poems and the content of your poems as well. What kind of things inspires you? What was your first significant poem? What would you say was your first significant that really resonates with you, that you remember?
I'd probably say it's Young Black Boy. The one, like, yeah, it was like maybe the 5th poem or something like that I ever wrote. It's called Young Black Boy, and I think that it was because that was the first time I had been like 100% honest and true to myself when writing a piece. And I think before, you know, because I started poetry before, I would say my mentality changed. So, you know, before I would say maybe I'll try and be more politically correct or something, I don't know.
Yeah, because sometimes it is hard to stand up and as a poet, and you're tackling issues and that sometimes people don't really want to hear about, or sensitive, or they're raw. And it's hard to get up there sometimes and be yourself. Some of my more erotic poetry as well, people are like, how are you so brave to get up there and say that? But it's me, and that's my truth. So that's why I'm happy to say it. So I think your poetry is very, very, very powerful. But it's also, you're very, very humble. I don't find you at all arrogant. You've got a beautiful piece. I think we've got the video for that. Can we load the video for, what's the name of that poem? With
Story of a Trash Boy.
Story of a Trash Boy. And like the title in itself, it makes you think. But then when you hear it, it's very, very humbling. Are we ready with the BT?
Right now, I don't think I'm fit to be a father. Because whenever a woman calls me a dog, I don't even deny it. I say, what would you rather? A pit bull or chihuahua? In a generation where men are more loyal to their barber than a woman sitting at home cooking food with a plaster. Cause she cut herself, cooking that curry goat that you so much enjoy. So tell me why I can't help but play her like a toy. I guess I'm just a boy. See, I'm stuck between two people. The person I could be and the person I am. One of them is trash, the other one's a man. She wants me to be a man, I'm like, I want to too. She's like, you can't commit to anyone. I'm like, nah, just not to you. And that's when shit got real. That's when I realized I opened up a wound that I cannot heal because I kept it true. And now I'm staring at the tears rolling down her face, knowing if my mum knew, she'd be feeling disgraced. I'm thinking, what have I done? I'm feeling so mad, I would have knocked me the hell out if I was her dad. It's too late now, my words were like sharp knives and they've already been spoken. Now I'm wishing we could take it back to the days before your heart was broken. The day I met you in that staff room, I should have left you alone, but you were sitting looking pretty with your head to your phone, talking to your girlfriend about going to the movies whilst I'm just in a trance, admiring your beauty. And now you're looking for answers, cause you had dreams of a wedding ring. But there's no right way to tell someone that you was almost what I wanted, but not everything. So I lied to her.
So, the title straight away makes you think a certain thing, but when you actually hear the poem, it's quite, you're very vulnerable and very open with yourself. What inspired you to write this poem? Was it a true story, or was it just your view of what you see?
Bit of a sticky question there still, but it's partially a true story. It's partially. Because like, when I'm talking about love especially, I draw on my personal experience, but I want to talk about everybody, so I draw on different personal experiences, so it might look like it's all about me. But yeah, I kind of got, how did I get inspired to write that? I think it was literally just my love life. I've had a very turbulent love life, and I think I got to a certain point where, cool, you're in your teens, like a lot of teenage boys, you're trying to have fun, with women,
Yeah.
and you don't realise.
From you too, don't get.
Yeah, of course, no, yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
You know.
Of course, we must always
Angel and
point that
sinner.
out, that this whole trash stuff isn't one way.
Yeah, and it's not one way. Women, women can be trash too. You know.
I know. Let's not get into that. But yeah,
I mean, let's keep debate.
yeah, we can. I don't mind. But I think it was just one of my personal experiences playing around with a woman, and in that specific case, I would say karma hit me because I realized I was playing around with someone I cared about. So then I started paying attention to my actions, and I realized like what we do as young men, and I just started to think like, wow, it's not really nice, is it? And then I think when I started to connect with my spiritual side more, I realized, why we do things and why we do foolishness with women all the time. And I just wanted to write about my personal journey of just emotionally maturing and realizing that you're just not meant to play with people's emotions, really.
I think my favourite line, and I can't remember it word for word, but it's like when you say you're caught between two.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Caught between two people that you want to be. Like one's a trash man. Say the line.
Literally,
say the line, because I can't.
I'm stuck between two people: the person I could be and the person I am. One of them is trash, the other one's a man. But yeah, literally, that was me, yeah, man. Like.
But can I just say, you're a man though. Seriously,
Cheers.
like I like that you're humble and you're vulnerable, but your mentality and the way that you think and the way that your mind's open, you're a man, and a man that I'm sure lots of women would be very, very happy to have.
Thank you.
But and also the young black boy. I think that was the first poem that I saw of yours. It went viral on Twitter, didn't it?
Yeah.
And I saw it, and I was taken aback. And it is very much about changing the narrative and the mentality of the young black boys out there, and uplifting and empowerment. And I think I commend you for your work. And like every single poem touches me. I think my favourite is the feminist one. Like, I'm a feminist. Hopefully that's one of the ones you selected. So I think maybe now we should maybe go to some of your live performance.
Got a few pieces for you guys.
Okay, brilliant.
Imagine if we did something different with all this money that we're making. Imagine if rappers stopped saying my whip is German and started saying my whip is Jamaican, or the whip is Ghanaian and the outfit's Asian. But we don't have a worldwide influence, so everything's Caucasian. We don't have a worldwide influence when it comes to motors. It's all Ford and Toyotas. I know you might struggle to get a loan from the loaners because looking at your accounts, you'd rather invest in a 30 grand car before you look at a house. We don't build communities, we just moan about gentrification until the lights go down. That's why in London there's no Nigeria, just a Chinatown. See, statistically we have the least money, but here's the question that bothers me. Is it the amount of money we have that's hindering us, or is it our priorities? They say you gotta have your life together by 30. I don't believe that, because everybody's got a different journey. Don't let the pressures of society make you think you're living life too early or too late. It's more about how you feel about it. Believe in your source and never doubt it. You can't knock my confidence because it's deeply anchored. You're insecure because you're living by other people's standards. When you know nothing about this or that person's life, you don't know nothing about their strife, you don't know what they had to go through to reach that Super Saiyan like Goku. You don't know them, but you know you. Focus on yourself. If someone's rich and unhappy, then chances are they were too focused on their wealth. See, thinking about being a failure makes me nervous. Until I realised that so many people just look successful on the surface. That's why I don't watch face, I just pay attention to these words because I know they penetrate membranes. So if you come at me, I'll avenge with these bars, no endgame. Young black girl, how do you feel when you look at your reflection? I'm looking at some melanin perfection. When you open your mouth, they be calling it aggression. Brother, don't try to oppress them. Maybe she's mad because she doesn't have a choice. Living in a world where she doesn't have a voice. So young black boys should have vision. When a female speaks, just listen. Give her that attention. Give her love and affection. You got to give her that protection and work as a team. Because in this world, man, it seems that they see a nigga, but I see a queen that's made to be heard and made to be seen. Yeah, that black girl magic, man, it's all in the genes. Black boy, don't insult her. You came from the womb, now you're coming with the views that oppose her. But when we get shot down in the streets or killed by police, they're the first to be marching the streets. Black woman, you was made for a crown. Living in a world where they want to put you down, so I'm gonna go hard for the team. This one's for my young black queens. Thank you very much, Mr. Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Reed.
Round of applause.
Nana, what do you think? I can hear you nodding and
Listen.
some of the lyrics that come out of this guy like.
This young man's is a superstar. I remember when my friend first sent me his first video. I was like, finally, who is?
Trust me.
Give me his number.
I had to find it myself.
Greg. I said, get me his number. I remember, you know what I mean? So yeah, superstar, man, superstar.
Oh, thank you.
You know,
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Amazing. I can't express enough how much your words touch me, and your depth as well, but also your humbleness. And it's like, I know lots of people are going to be watching this and being like, yes. Because I think when I first got offered the show, they gave me lots of options of what to do. They talk about reading the news and doing lots of different bits. But I was quite passionate about having a show where I could spotlight poetry, because some of the poets and the level of intelligence and the deepness and the messages that they're sharing just needs to be heard.
110%.
100%. So to keep doing what you're doing. You're a fantastic role model for young black boys, for women. You're someone to look up to, and you, Nana, as well. So I'm really, really honoured to have you both on the show. Really, really honoured. So I hope viewers at home you enjoyed Mr. Reed. Maybe later on you might get another few bars out of him, or.
And the reason why he's so inspirational is because I believe there's lots of people, lots of youths out there like him, but they just need that spark. They need somebody they can relate to, and it will just open up the floodgates.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of conscious youths out there, but like I said, there's no avenue for them to express that consciousness.
Yes.
Or they think there's no avenue. So he's giving them light, he's giving them a pathway, and the strength to come through. So.
Yeah, and hopefully this can be that platform where people can come through and show the level of depth and intelligence.
Absolutely.
And, you're a role model. So what's next for you? I know you do spoken word. What other kind of things you do? I know you act, don't you?
Yeah, I'm an actor, so I just finished doing I just got back into it recently. I just finished doing a show where I was doing a fellow at the Omnibus Theatre.
Okay, so were you
I was a fellow, yeah.
So you're the lead.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, because
I'll fill it no more.
cover, yeah. Inspirational story as well.
It's funny because the Moors, obviously, most people do a fellow at school, and you hear about the Moors, but you don't get taught the significance.
No, you don't.
And what's even funny about that is they even refer to a fellow as a Moor in the actual play.
Yeah.
So it shows the awareness
that it's there. It's like a hidden history. I have another poem, Stand Up and Be Counted, where the first part tracks the Moors and their contribution to Europe, and how they actually conquered parts of Europe for years, and then they were
700 years. They ruled Europe for 700 years. Yeah.
And they contributed to like astrology, mathematics, all of these things. But it doesn't. They inspired the Renaissance. But all of this doesn't get put into the textbooks.
Of course.
And that's also something that empowers our young people. Like if you know your history, but they think slavery. A lot of the time, people think our history starts at slavery, but our history goes back.
That history is kept deliberately quiet for a reason.
Of course.
To keep the status quo. Like you said, once you know that stuff, it can only empower you. You know, and it's not just black people, it's white people as well. You know, I was working with some Italian guy who works for Sky. We did a project together to bring awareness to knife crime and providers, etc. And I was giving him the history, and he was in shock. I said, "Have you ever wondered why you guys in Sicily are so dark? Have you ever wondered why?" You know, and all these, and he done his
True Romance. That
yeah,
film.
and he came,
it's there. That's like True Romance. I remember that scene in that film where he's telling you.
Yeah, and you know it's weird because I remember when just like what you just said, I remember reading these stories in school, and I never connected the dots until I got much older. Yeah. And I was like, wow, it's like the truth was right in my face. I couldn't see it. You know? So it's empowering. It's empowering. That's why Europeans call that element of their history the Dark Ages.
Dark Ages, and then the Enlightenment and the Renaissance.
Yeah, you know, because they
inspired by the Moors.
Yeah, they were in the dark.
And it's funny you said you just said something about enlightenment.
The Enlightenment, that's
Renaissance.
Yeah, the Renaissance was the Enlightenment.
Yeah. Because I was at this event the other day, and we was learning about melanin in-depth kind of thing, and
Well, which event was it?
it was an event called The Hidden Science. It's this guy, he runs this company called The Hidden Science.
Oh, give him a plug.
Andrew Mohammed.
Leon, well, he's not the actual person. Yeah, he speaks at these events a lot, Andrew Mohammed. Guy who actually runs it is called Leon Marshall. They're called The Hidden Science Academy.
Okay.
If you want to learn the truth, I would say, about your health from a black perspective, your hair from a black perspective, love from a black, like, just things from a black perspective, in truth, I would say you need to get down to one of these events, man.
Okay.
Dope guy. But I was just gonna say, yeah, definitely I agree with you and say, yeah, a period of enlightenment, because the thing is, black is the absorption of everything, the absorption of every colour, every colour, and that applies to our actual life in more ways than you think. So I really do look at that period as like a period of enlightenment, and I look at black as enlightenment. So yeah.
How did you find playing Othello, like with the story, with your knowledge and everything you know? How did you find playing Othello? And
it was dope. Because, you know, like we was just talking about, there's part of the story I can relate to, obviously, as a black man in living in the westernized world. It was dope in general because I like acting, but I think what was most inspirational for me was, you know, I would say racism is built off, if you trace the roots of it, if you really trace the roots of it, it's built off flattery, because, you know, when you know real science, you know about black people, what black people can do, kind of thing. Do you get what I'm saying? So, playing that role with more of understanding, because I've played it more than once, and I played it once when I was more ignorant to these kind of things. And when you play it, when I played it the second time, it's like, yeah, you're playing it, knowing, you know, what kind of racial issues and what kind of social issues built Othello as a character, even though he's fictional, but his story is very real.
No, it's very deep.
Yeah.
If you look, for example, the character Iago, it's like you can't figure out what his issue is.
Yeah.
It's very subtle, but you can have a guess and you can draw to some conclusion. But it's so, the way it's written is so deep that you think, what is actually motivating? Is it a racial thing? Is it this? Is it that?
Insecurity.
You know, yeah. You know, so it's loaded. It's very, very loaded. It's very, very multi-layered play, or whatever they call it. But yeah, definitely.
It's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
And Measure for Measure, that's one of my favourite Shakespeare ones. It's another interesting one. But yeah, so yeah, it's exciting. So are you still playing that? Is that finished? Or can
No, it's finished, it's finished for now. But I'll be back with doing the acting stuff soon.
And what about poetry? What's next with your poetry?
I've got something dropping soon, you know, on the 29th. I've got something dropping.
29th, yeah?
Yeah, I got a new video dropping. This one's called Danger World. And I'm just venting about the westernized world.
Okay, I might have to bring you back, or at least show it on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Your work is amazing.